Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite tanking team in the Bay Area. The Sharks went for five straight, and they did it. Five straight losses now after dropping 5-3 game to the St. Louis Blues. So, full reaction to this game, big takeaways on why Hertl, Karlsson, and Timo Meier just continue to be awesome. And of course, it's Friday. So we'll give the fries of the week. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin, San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch this bad boy on YouTube as well. And the Sharks, they went for it. They did it. Five straight losses after falling 5-3 to the Blues in a very, very close competitive game. But again, pulling out defeat from the jaws of victory at the last minute. Before we get any further, do want you to know that today's episode is brought to you guys by BetOnline. BetOnline is going to cover the season more props, odds, and lines than before. BetOnline, where the game starts. And I think we have to start with Kaapo Kahkonen. So Kahkonen played pretty decent tonight. He made some big saves, but he had some goals that you definitely want back. And I think you got to start with the first goal tonight, the Torrey Krug goal, where Krug, bad angle shot. And he just doesn't get to the post. He's not hugging the post well enough to stop that. And that's a save you have to make, especially for a team like the Sharks, who just do not have a large kind of margin for error, right? We've seen so far with the Sharks, they've been competitive these last games. And if you look at the players who have been good the last couple games, Timo Meier, goals, he's scoring goals. Tomas Hertl's now got goals in the last two games. Erik Karlsson has 21 points this season in 15 games. These guys are helping produce, but much like what we've seen from the last few seasons, you just don't have a lot of secondary scoring. And Couture is he is a consistent, he's supposed to be a consistent scorer, but you're not getting secondary scoring from your, it's not Nico Sturm scoring. You're not getting, Oscar Lindblom, 0 goals so far this year. LeBank's been kind of doing, I know he played first line, but he's kind of more of a secondary scorer for them, right? Cunning, a couple goals here and there. Nick Bonino is, been banished to the shadow realm of the fourth line. Like, again, you're not getting a lot of, and from the defense, you're getting some, Matt Benning had his first goal the other night, but like, unless it's Erik Karlsson from the defense, still struggling there. So when you have such a narrow margin of error, right, for a victory, your goaltending needs to be outstanding, superb, better than average. Like, you need to have good goaltending, and the Sharks just aren't getting that from Kaapo Kahkonen tonight. Digging the Kaapo Kahkonen's numbers, since we're talking about him before we get into the rest of so all situations tonight. Kaapo Kahkonen, 28 saves on 32 shots against. Expected goals against was 365, and he gave up 4. So that's pretty close. Like, both teams did a good job of producing offense for teams that are not very good at producing offense. But it's these bad goals. I don't want, that he was giving up. So Kaapo Kahkonen, high danger saves, 7 of 7. That's what you love to see. You love to see those big saves, right? And if you read my Fear the Fin piece, Kaapo Kahkonen's been terrible with high danger saves this year, like one of the worst goalies in the league. Great, you got the high danger saves from him tonight, but medium danger, 11 of 13, 2 goals. And then the low danger, 8 of 10 for 2 goals. Those are the ones that kill you, right? Those low danger saves, those are the like, you got to have them goals. That's what killed you tonight was you gave up that Torrey Krug goal, and then the not the empty netter, but the I guess it was the Callie Rosen one where kind of a point shot. I know there's some traffic in front of him. You really want to try to save that one, like there. The Kyrou goal, great goal. Brandon Saad goal, great. Like Kyrou power play goal. You can only ask your penalty kill to bail you out so many times. The Brandon Saad goal, defense. Brandon Saad had 4 dudes around him, and Josh Levo made just a great pass to him, and Brandon Saad buried it. Saad, kind of the sneaky shark killer. I think he said they said he's had like 27 points in 30 games against the Sharks. So not Phil Kessel bad, but kind of a sneaky one with there. But Kaapo Kahkonen, this is supposed to be the year that he is to try to claim and prove that he is a number 1 goaltender. And to start the season right now, he is not kind of taking a mantle here. So, and I know, not a who's who of defensemen in front of him, but again, he did a great job tonight of making those tough saves, right? Those money high danger saves, but you got to save the easy one. Not the Martin Jones like thing, but like how often will we see Martin Jones let in the beach ball, but then he, 5 minutes later just makes a ridiculous save. So it's not that level, but still, Kaapo Kahkonen, he needs to start making these big saves and being more consistent with his saves and not letting these easy ones, especially if James Reimer is most likely going to be traded at this season. You need to have some confidence that your other goalie can at least play like a number 1 from time to time. And right now he's just not doing that. So still early in the season, still a long way to go. I know he didn't play in like 9 days, but yeah, you just keep an eye on Kaapo Kahkonen. So before we continue, we dive into this game a little bit further. We're going to discuss how amazing Tomas Hertl and Timo Meier were tonight, because they were amazing, especially when you look at their shot attempts. It's absolutely bonkers. So, but before we do that, let's take a quick break, talk to you guys about our friends over at BetOnline. You guys know BetOnline is your number 1 source for sports betting information, stats, news, and analysis. Get all the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. So NCAA basketball, football, NBA. You want to go bet on the SHL? They've got you covered at betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find more of those over at BetOnline as well. They're the fastest and easiest way to get your betting fix. So head to their website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so we have seen, I know Hertl, slow start to the season. Timo Meier, slow start to the season. Erik Karlsson has been pretty awesome. But tonight, man, they are cooking. These guys were absolutely cooking. So 5-on-5 time for natural stat trick. Kevin LeBanc, Tomas Hertl, Timo Meier played almost 12:58, almost 13 minutes of time on ice at 5-on-5. The Sharks did not get a power play tonight, which the Blues do not take a lot of penalties this year. So to expect them to get a power play or a lot of power play opportunities, if you're expecting that, bad game plan. But time on ice, almost 13 minutes. Corsi 4 shot attempts, 23 shot attempts from this line. Corsi allowed four. They were dominant playing in their own zone and keeping the Blues from getting anything going. Actual shots on goal, 11-1. Goals for 2. Scoring chances, 21-2. High danger chances, 7-0. 3 rush attempts. And again, we're seeing that offensive, David Quinn utilizing these guys, realizing these are my best players. I need to put them in the position to succeed. 7 offensive zone faceoffs, 7 neutral zone, 2 defensive zone starts. So love to see that. And these guys are rewarding you. Another goal from Meier, right? He's, what is that now? 6 for Timo Meier now. Really starting to come on. Erik Karlsson, 2 more assists, 21 points for the season. The epic handshake of Timo Meier, Erik Karlsson, 90-point seasons. Let's go. Just the shot attempts. Erik Karlsson had 5. Timo Meier had 4. This is the first time Timo Meier hasn't 5 shot attempts or more in a game in like the last 5 games. That is what you love to see from this line. These guys, these are your best players, and you're riding them right now to try to win games. You're just not getting the support from the other guys. So we're going to celebrate those guys doing well. I think for now, it looks like LeBank's going to be sticking on this line. He did have 2 more assists tonight, 3 shots for himself. So good. Want to see him continue to shoot more. Because we know when LeBanc starts rolling, he can pot a few as well. So great job. But the Sharks, though, the bottom 6 for the Sharks is kind of where they lost this game. So, even the Nieto, Couture, Barabanov line, I think that line, I still don't love Nieto on that line, but Couture, Barabanov is really well. You can see, especially with Barabanov's skill and his passing, this line is working really well. And they did not get put in the good situations tonight. So they played 10:40 time on ice together at 5-on-5, 13 shot attempts, and gave up 14. Actual shots on goal was 9-8 in favor of the Sharks, so good for them. They did have a goal, the Couture goal. But again, 5 offensive zone, 2 neutral zone, 10 defensive zone. So that Couture line is being asked to carry the load in the defensive zone. So if you're starting so much in your defensive zone and you're still producing kind of even numbers, I think you gotta count that as a win. But Lindblom, Stern, Cunnin, 6 shot attempts, 4, gave up 14. They did give up a goal as well. Kind of very neutral script for them. 4 offensive, 7 neutral, 5 defensive. And then the Gadovich, Benito, Gregor played a little under 9 minutes. 8-9 for shot attempts, 3-5 in favor of the Blues. Did also give up a goal. And mostly neutral zone, 5 neutral zone, 3 defensive, and 1 offensive zone starts. So again, your guys are your Timos, your Karlssons, your Hertls. They are producing for you. You're just not getting enough oomph from your other guys. So, and good to see Couture score as well. I don't want you to think I'm forgetting about Logan Couture. That's his 5th goal. That's quietly been producing here, especially with the kind of ragtag guys that he has around him. So, but I do like the Barabanov Couture. Nieto is still not my favorite. I've made it very clear. Nieto's, if he's your 4th line winger, that's great, but don't love him on the 2nd line. But again, it's not like any of the other guys have really kind of taken a claim. I was hoping Lindblom would kind of do a little bit more tonight. He had a pretty quiet game as well. But you're waiting for one of these other guys to kind of take the mantle until, from Noah Gregor, but there's just nobody, or not from Noah Gregor, sorry, from Matt Nieto. You're hoping one of these other guys can kind of take the mantle, and they just have not been able to so far. So still looking at the defensive time on ice. The Karlsson minutes still worry me a little bit. I know this is a very back and forth game, and the Sharks are kind of trailing most of the game, trying to crawl back into it. All within 1 goal for the most part. It was the Blues score, It's kind of that take turn thing until the end of the game when the Blues finally took the lead. But Carlson in the 27-minute range here, which is, I know I do like Quinn is giving him the maintenance days, so he's not practicing as much. We know his paper mache groin, like you don't want to overwork Carlson right now. Giving him as much time off, perfect. But 27 minutes still worries me a little bit. Jacob Magna at 22 minutes. And then it was Ferraro at a little under 22 minutes. Benning had 19. Šimić at 12:35 and Vlasic at 15:13. So that Šimić Vlasic pairing, we shall see with those guys how it's going to continue with them. So overall, again, you see this with the Sharks. They're doing a good job of being in every one of these games, but they just don't have the horses. And the Blues, they were desperate to win this game, especially after losing 8 straight games. They didn't want their season to kind of slip away from them, start to slip away from them as you see sometimes in, such as like Vancouver last year, where they were just so bad at the beginning of the season. They were just too much ground to make up. So, but the good thing though, Blues won. Blue Jackets won. Sharks now number 1 in the Tankathon standings. So when it comes to points per game. So there we go. Again, just play fun hockey games that are entertaining and just lose at the end. That is the recipe for at least an entertaining season on my end. So before we finish up, we'll get to the 3 Fridays of the week, kind of doing a little what's coming up for this weekend, as there is a lot of hockey going on this weekend between Barracuda, Sharks. So let's take a quick break. Let you guys know, of course, about the Locked On Sports Today podcast. Thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Now, for your next listen, go check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast, the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. Okay, so Sharks play the Stars. I'm going to actually have a Stars preview. I did a crossover with Dane. That's going to drop about noon Pacific time, that we have something to listen to, car ride home, whatever. So we'll get you guys ready for the Stars game as well. Kuda play a ton of games. So yeah, a lot of games from both teams this weekend. So we're going to try our best to cover them all. So the Sharks play Wednesday against the Wild. Wild have been a little bit of a struggle so far this season, especially if they kind of just not really found their ground yet, right? Made the playoffs, of course, last year, got bounced in the first round to the Blues. But just this year, the Wild, we have not seen them kind of producing at the same result as we're used to from them. So right now they're 6-1, 13 games in the season. So with 13 points, their goal differential is -5, -3. Sorry. Not too bad. For example, the Sharks goal differential is -15 and the Ducks is -20. How have the Ducks given up -25 already this season? That's pretty crazy. But again, they just haven't really been able to kind of score and click as we have seen from previous Minnesota teams. They only have 39 goals for. The Sharks are also at 39. Yes, the Sharks have played a couple more games, but you think of Minnesota and last year, their prolific offense. I know they lost some pieces in Kevin Fiala, but this just really hasn't been the same team, and their goaltending has been really letting them down early to start this season right now. And what was there? I know Marc-Andre Fleury, he has not been playing as well as expected, but yeah, their goaltending has kind of been their Achilles heel so far this season. So they did beat the Ducks 4-1 the other day. But again, yeah, it's been kind of their goaltending that has really killed them this year. So I'm trying to pull up their stats right now. My bad. So Marc-Andre Fleury has an 896 save percentage. Ugh. He's averaging 3.17 goals. Philip Gustafsson, 904 save percentage. So it's not like they have anybody who's kind of been taking the lead. And I'm going to assume Reimer starts this game. Reimer does start on Friday's game, but I think James Reimer has easily been your best goalie. I wouldn't be surprised if Reimer starts this game, and then maybe Kaapo Kahkonen starts in Vegas. We shall see. But yeah, not talking about the Stars again because I have a recap for that coming up. So spoiler, I think the Stars win. This one, though, I still think the Wild just have superior talent. Gabriel Kaprizov is pretty good. And I think it's going to be I think it's going to be kind of a high scoring game for some reason. I don't know why. Let's go 5-4 Wild in this game. Again, threading the needle of being very fun to watch while also losing games. That is the plan right here. So I think, I think the Wild win this game. So, and then since it's Friday, let's do the 3 fries of the week. My third fry of the week, give it to Tomas Hertl. Starting to get going here. We got 2 goals in the past 2 games, especially, only scoring the first game and then going through this drought. You're seeing Hertl coming on here. You're seeing this line of Hertl, Meier, Bank get going. Third fry of the week, Tomas Hertl. Second star, Erik Karlsson. I mean, he is the best player on the Sharks right now, hands down. He is the engine to this team. I have talked Erik Karlsson's praises enough. You guys know Erik Karlsson's amazing. Please enjoy it right now while we can before he gets hurt again. So, and then my first star is Timo Meier. Timo Meier has been awesome. Worried about the slow start. That slow start is gone now. He's been scoring and scoring and scoring and scoring goals in multiple games now. So, yes, keep doing what you're doing. I think we have a big weekend from Timo Meier this weekend as he continues doing what he's doing right now. He's on a hot streak. I think he's going to keep riding it, but the Sharks are going to continue to lose. So, yep, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for tonight. Be back. So let's do a live show Saturday night after the Barracuda game. So we'll kind of play a little catch up on the Barracuda. They're playing right now. They're currently down 2-0. I believe 2-1. Sorry. Who scored for them? Jeffrey VL scored for them. Good for that. But yeah, they're down 2-1 right now. But yeah, they play also this week a bunch. So we're going to Saturday night. We'll do a recap or kind of a live after the Barracuda game. So make sure you guys are following along on Twitter for that. Monday, be back to recount Stars Wild, and then get you guys ready for Vegas the following week, and we continue to roll on. So make sure you guys are following along Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, over at Locked On Sharks. Keep an eye out for the Stars preview dropping about noon Pacific time today. Get you guys ready for the Stars game coming up later today, whatever time it is. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole while Twitter's still alive. Listen, Apple, Spotify, Odyssey, you name it. Watch on YouTube. And until then, bye, friends.